Well, hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and let's do my weekly recap. So, I do my journaling and memory keeping in a Hobonichi Cousin, the A5 size, and I have it in this very old Hobonichi cover case. It needs to be retired at some point, but I've had this for years. I love it. It's beautiful. It's dirty, but it's been with me. So, opening this up, I'm going to go into the daily pages and let's see, we are going back to Monday, October 30th. That seems like so long ago. So on Monday, October 30th, one of the favorite things that I like to do at the end of each month is prepare for my next currently inked and map out the inks I'm going to use and pick out the pens and start cleaning things out and getting that all ready. So I did that on Monday. We also, I'll talk about kind of one of the things. So I've mentioned before that there's a prior student that I worked with that we have invited into our home, and I've worked with DCF. That student went through a period of a number of weeks of a lot of struggle and a lot of really big things as part of that struggle. And I knew some of the information, but didn't know all of it, and was finding myself getting really frustrated that I wasn't hearing anything from his guardian, which is the Department of Children and Family, nor was I hearing anything from his caseworker. And so I, on the Friday before that, had reached out and said, I'm a little frustrated that I'm not getting communication, yet you are anticipating me bringing this child into my home. And so I did finally hear from the DCF worker on Monday, who gave me a very thorough update, acknowledged that they should be keeping me in the loop, and committed to doing so in the future. And even the morning of that phone call, this individual had a tough morning, so she was able to fill me in on that as well. Then after that phone call, we had dinner. One of my favorite meals that I forgot about for years and recently remembered is a shrimp mango salad. Very simple, just some romaine greens with some seared shrimp, diced mango, and I like to add some onion, whether it's a white onion or a purple onion, either. And then sweet Vidalia onion dressing, or dressing of choice, but it's really nice. It's really refreshing. So we made that, had that. And then afterwards we had a family meeting because my son has recently announced that he does not want to play soccer anymore. And that's fine, but we wanted him to start working on generating some ideas for some other hobbies or areas of interest that he could explore, so that he's not just sitting around at home and playing computer games or video games or things like that. So we generated a nice list of activities. He is interested in taking some cooking classes. That's something that we did during the pandemic. He did some online cooking classes, so I'm going to look into how he can do that. The place that he was taking classes before did end up shutting down, so I either need to find a new online platform vendor to take some cooking classes. So if you know of one, please leave that in the comment section. I would love that. Or find a local cooking class for him to attend. He also wants to explore some circuitry. He is interested a tiny bit in golf and wall climbing, and he is amenable to going to a paint class, but only wants to do it once, doesn't want that to be a hobby. So we've got a small list. We also needed to talk about Halloween plans, because on Saturday my son went to a birthday party and came back saying, I want to go trick-or-treating in this neighborhood with these friends, which was something I knew was coming, but I didn't anticipate it happening this year. And so I needed to do some realignment of my expectations, and I had a whole vision for what Halloween was going to look like, and it just didn't look like that, and that's okay. This is my positive self-talk. So then on Tuesday, that was Halloween. I did not do a live that night, and it's Tuesday today. I'm not doing a live today. There is a couple of other lives that happen on Tuesday, so I think I'm going to work on shifting it maybe to Thursday or Friday or just a different night. So he ended up going trick-or-treating. Here he is. And he's with all ladies. That's my boy. So yeah, he went with a group of ladies, group of 6th grade ladies. And my husband and I, while he was trick-or-treating, we went out to dinner with each other. We went grocery shopping, and then we still had an hour to kill. And so we went and we got a drink at a Mexican restaurant before going and picking him up. He was so happy when we picked him up and had immediately said, "Can I do this again next year?" And my response to not only my son, but any kid that I'm ever around is, if you're sweet, good things will happen. And so I said to him, as long as you're sweet, I'm sure that they'll invite you back. And the dad immediately talked about how polite he was, and said that they would be very happy to have him back next year. So that was great. Here's my currently inked. So, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I actually do my currently inked swatching and such on this monthly page in my Hobonichi cousin that I use for memory keeping. And then I use a different notebook when I'm filming my currently inked, and I have this to reference. So then Wednesday, that was the 1st of November. I won in this, gosh, I feel like such a nerd, but as I've gotten really immersed into our financial world and exploring different ways to place our money, I guess I should say, I've really gotten deep into placing our money into high interest yield accounts. And so on the 1st of every month, I get to look and see how much interest that we've made. And I have our money separated out. We use Capital One, and it's a 4.3% interest, which is not too shabby. And I have different accounts for different things. So I have a Christmas account, I have a car account, I have a birthday gift account, I have holidays, I have events, travel, savings. I also put our spending money in there because we use a Capital One Saver card for our day-to-day spending, like gas and groceries and when we eat out and things like that. And then we also get cash back rewards with that. So on the 1st of the month, I get to see, with all that money in our Capital One buckets, how much interest that we made. And I pull the interest out of our kind of specific buckets, and all of that goes into our family savings account, so that we can continue to save. It's just saving on saving, which is kind of interesting. So I love when we get the monthly interest. I love doing that reallocation. It's tedious, but it brings me joy, and that's fine. And then just in general, I found that I felt really tired on Wednesday, and then some of the students post-Halloween were just on the sillier side. So when I was already starting my day feeling tired, that just was like a whole different level right there. Thursday, I had a meeting Thursday morning with one of the teams that I work with, and it was a rough meeting. One of the individuals kind of really came in very emotional and very angry, and I ended up kind of leaving that consult wondering what happened and trying to figure out where that employee's emotions were coming from. Later that morning, I did have an opportunity to circle back to that employee and chat with them, and we were able to agree that we both had the same mission, but we were kind of crossing paths. And even though there was that resolution that day, there were some things that were mentioned in that meeting that just didn't sit well with me. And then my colleague, the person who's in the same position as me in the district, gave me some additional background at the end of the day of conversations that they had been part of. And to be quite blunt, it left me very angry. I had somebody who was mad at me because I wasn't being mean to someone else to be on their side, which just to me seems very childish and kind of, you know what, I'm just going to say childish. And that's not what I go to work for. I'm not aligning. I am trying to figure out what's best for the kids. And if you're going to be upset with me because I'm not mad at someone along with you, then that I'm just not here for it. So, it is resolved now, but it was a really long day. It left me emotionally exhausted. Yeah. So that also happened to be a day that we carpooled. That afternoon, I kind of shut down. I was supposed to do a pay it forward board meeting on Thursday evening. I could not do it. I got home from work and I basically went to bed because I just was so stuck in my head trying to replay every interaction all day long. I was exhausted. My neighbor had Marley come over to play with her dog Macy, which was really nice, and I helped cycle through some laundry, but other than that, I came home, I went to bed. Friday was a little bit of a busier day, so I did talk with my boss in the morning just to get her in the loop of what had happened the day before. She was somewhat aware because of my colleague, the one who's in the same position as me, had been keeping her in the loop. And so when I called my boss, I said, look, I was prepared to handle this, but I know that you're already partially in the loop, so I just want to let you know my experience and what I'm thinking. And we came up with a game plan. I had a student that really had a hard time at school who found a maintenance closet that was unlocked. That was a joy. And in that maintenance closet was a bunch of lawn tools, and I had lawn tools with long handles being swung in my direction at my face. And I was able to quickly talk the student down and get things into a safe place, but I did end up with some bruising and abrasions on my leg from the lawn tools, so that was kind of fun. And then when I got home that evening, actually I got home with my son first. My husband stayed after work and he played basketball with some colleagues, and he went and picked up a wine of the month club wine, or 2 bottles of wine, because it was the start of November. And then he came home and built our first fire for the season. I love when we have fires in the fireplace. It just brings me so much joy. So we had that on Friday. And then Saturday, if you are not a woman or a girl, I apologize, but I had terrible cramps on Saturday, and it really left me down and out for a good chunk of the afternoon, which resulted in me missing my son's second to last soccer game, but I could not stand up. So I was in bed with a heating pad working on taking breaths. But before that wall hit, I got 8 miles in an hour and 9 minutes. So I was pretty proud about that. And my husband painted our bathroom ceiling. And I also walked around the neighborhood with my neighbor. We passed out flyers for a cookie swap that we are doing in December. So we put flyers in all the mailboxes, and my Zodiac Pen Co. pen arrived on Saturday. So I was able to open that up, do an unboxing, ink it up, and I have been writing with it every day since, a couple days, but still, I love it so much. And then on Sunday, so I've been using the same pen and ink for a 2-page spread, but I really wanted to use this pen. So I went ahead and used it on Sunday. And I don't know why, but this blue and brown combination, I am here for it. I love it. It's beautiful. Doing a quick preview to Monday, I used the blue and brown, just reversed it. I love it. I'm obsessed. So I'm likely going to be doing a lot of the accent lettering with this pen, or doing a lot of journaling with it, because it's just such a beautiful combination. And thankfully, I have it inked up with Robert Oster's Summer Storm, and I do have a full bottle of this, so I can go ahead and re-ink it as many times as I want this month. It's bringing me joy, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so then looking at my weekly. So here is my weekly. Nothing super special about it. I used a Platinum 3776 with a fine nib. And this is a 14 karat gold fine nib. I love the little heart. Such a nice detail that Platinum does. So I used that pen, and that is inked up with Diamine. It's an ink vent ink called Brandy Snap. Oh, I'm gonna drop this little tidbit in. On Sunday, when I was getting ready to go to the baby shower for my now friend, she used to be an employee that I supervised years ago, and has become a good friend of mine, and actually is one of the girls, when I mentioned before my group of ladies that I was working out with each morning, and I gave us the name Ked, and so K is Kayla, and Ked, she is expecting at the beginning of January, hopefully the end of December. I would love if baby Evelyn came during winter break so that I could meet her. That was my request. Hopefully Evelyn listened. Anywho, so as I was getting ready to go to the shower, I needed to find some baby shower tickets that came with the invitation for a diaper and a wipe raffle gift basket. And in the little cubby in our kitchen that I knew that these tickets were in, and I say cubby, it's this really cool, it's an old phone table or phone stand back in the day when people used to have house phones. So the phone was on the wall, and then there's this little countertop, and under the countertop is a little cubby. And so when we redid our kitchen during the pandemic, we kept the cubby but put a new countertop on top of it, and then closed off the part of the wall that had the phone jack. Anyway, in that little cubby, there's a full bottle of Diamine Ink Vent, I think it's 2022 Olive Swirl. A full bottle in the box. And so I didn't say anything immediately, but then when I got home from the shower, I said to my husband, hey, is there something in the kitchen for me that's a gift? And he just looked at me and blinked a few times and said, wait, you found it? And I said, yeah, I found it. um, so I'm trying to sweet talk him into giving that to me. Apparently it's supposed to be a stocking stuffer, but I kind of want it. So, I'm trying to be sweet to him so that he'll just give it to me. We'll see. So that's a little spoiler alert right there. Yes, so this is a Diamine 2021 Brandy Snap, and I really love this color. It's a beautiful color. Okay, so I'm going to throw down some stickers that kind of match things from the week. And I did try to plan out some things ahead of time. I have these raindrops stickers from, where did that just go? Right here. From Cloth and Paper. And this is from a subscription box. I like to turn them upside down and use them like geotags. And so I wanted to use this for going out to drinks with my husband on Halloween. And then I also wanted to use this for the baby shower. It was about 45 minutes away that I traveled for that baby shower. We did our Friday morning coffee, so I'm going to add in, I believe this is Rose Colored Days coffee cup. I am going to mark those terrible cramps. But before that, I did, oh, that's not going to fit, so I guess I'm not going to put it. Can't force it, right? Oh, you know what? Nope, I already put that one. I'm just being silly at this point. Okay, let's see. I am going to, I don't know. So I'm gonna add this little confused guy for that meeting on Thursday that really threw me for a loop. And then I try to do one sticker per day, occasionally two, but I wanted to add in this Drama Llama right down here because really that's all it was, is just drama. And I'm gonna put this little shipping label because I got my Zodiac Pen Company pen and did a YouTube filming there. On Sunday we did another fire, so I wanted to add the little fire guy right there. For Halloween, I'm gonna throw this little grocery shopping. I'm gonna move this down. Add in this little grocery shopper. And then my geotag right there. Yeah, we'll go with that. Wednesday was kind of an all-over multitasking kind of day. So I definitely wanted to put that. And then Monday, I actually started off the week feeling very overwhelmed. And so I ended up rearranging my office because I needed to regroup. And that, to me, seemed like a really nice way to do that. And then, do I want to add anything else? Let's see. Sorry that I'm sitting in silence. I'm going to add this because I was pretty fried by Friday, and I did end up doing a longer day because I had to do a bunch of phone calls in the evening. Oh, I did a number of days with 2 stickers. That's interesting. All right. I am going to pause it there. And this is my week. It was an interesting week for sure. But thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, I appreciate that. And I hope that you have a week full of wonderful memories. Bye.